Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. When I was in college, one year at New Year's Eve, one of my friends who I had known since middle school made a New Year's resolution to lose some weight. And over the next couple of weeks, I kept hearing him complain about various social activities he had gone to, and he couldn't find any food. He had gone to a New Year's Day party. He felt like he was an outsider trying to avoid food. This was back in 2006. People judged you for what you ate or didn't eat. Or you got to remember, back in 2006, the only people who watched what they ate, especially when they were 18, 19 years old, were people who already had a chronic health condition, right? Back then, if you went on a sugar-free diet, it was because you were pre-diabetic, or maybe you were dealing with cancer in remission. You get the idea, right? Your average people didn't watch their health for the future, especially when you're 18 years old. Nowadays, it's a little bit more acceptable. And he complained to me because he thought it was my idea that he needed to lose weight, as if I had any vested interest in that, right? I don't live with him, I don't work with him or anything, but he wanted to blame me. 2 weeks go by, he complained about going to a friend's birthday party, and I asked him, well, you better have lost a lot of weight. You spent 2 weeks complaining. And he said, no, I haven't. And when I kind of shook my head, I thought you, quote unquote, gave up all of these bad habits. He said, yeah, but I haven't been pooping enough. He claimed that he was constipated, and that's why he hadn't been losing weight. And he was, I want to say, he had about 20 or 30 pounds to lose to get to a healthy weight. And I'm thinking to myself, gee, you're claiming your body is stuffed with 20 or 30 pounds worth of poop. And I tried to imagine one day when he finally passes away, which might not be that far into the future at the rate that he was gaining weight back then. When he finally passes away, I hope he doesn't get cremated, because 80 pounds worth of poop by the time he passes away would really stink up the town that we were living in. And I joked with him because he kept gaining weight. And then he took up smoking. He was 19, 20 years old when he took up smoking. I don't know why he kept trying those first cigarettes. I knew he was playing with fire. I had never smoked, and I didn't really know anybody close to me who took up smoking, but I knew he was playing with fire. And, well, both literally and figuratively. And he got himself hooked. And I wanted to motivate him, because he and I sometimes feud a little bit, and I wanted to motivate him a little bit. And I joked with him that when he passes away, his tombstone should be a toilet so people can go there and poop all over him. And I told him that I would poop on his grave. Now, he and I have had a few friends who have passed away, and I often joke with him about what I would do to our friends' graves. I mean, I never really did anything, but I joke with him. My goal is to make him think, oh my God, I better live longer than he does so that he can't vandalize my grave. I was hoping to push him into that thought, but he never got the message. He eventually got married. I think his wife is vegan, and he took up that kind of lifestyle, so it's all good now. And he has some things to adjust as well, but it's better than nothing. Now, when I finally pass away, I want my tombstone to be thumbs down, because that's how I live my life. A lot of times I do things that are unpopular, even if they're the right thing to do. And so unfortunately, we live in a society where we cannot seem to live and let live. And unfortunately, we don't live in a society where we can take care of ourselves, or we depend on all of our neighbors to get ahead in life, which is unfortunate, because a lot of times I put a big thumbs down over my forehead, right? I'm unpopular for my sexual orientation, for my food choices, for my choice of recreation, which is fine with me. I love all those things. The problem is that in an environment where we have to work with one, if we went back to an agrarian environment, I would probably thrive, right? But we have an environment where we have to work with each other, and it creates a host of problems. And so when I finally die, if you go to the graveyard and you see that, it would really attract a lot of attention and people could read about my story and why my tombstone is a thumbs down. And I want my tombstone to be made of whatever element on the periodic table is really strongly disliked at that moment in time, right? So if I were to die today, it would probably be made of bismuth because it is so cheap relative to how rare it is, right? 100 years from now, it could be gold, by the way, because humans will probably stop needing to think about a financial system or money. We'll have a post-scarcity environment where the actual currency will be the stuff that makes that post-scarcity environment possible, right? Your strategic metals, and gold and silver will be dirt cheap, right? So 100 years from now, we'll have this metal that used to be really valuable. Nowadays, it's so abundant because it's been hoarded for 5,000 years, and you'll go to the graveyard and you'll see that sticking out of it, right? Because that's how my life was, and it will inspire people to read my biography. This is the Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum.